Ladies and gentlemen in Radio Land, you have now just entered 4th Street. My name is Kobe.
I'm Charles, not Charlie.
I'm Charlie, not Charles.
Don't mix us up.
And Smooth Austin.
And we are the 4th Street Sportsmen, and this is the 4th Street Sports Show.
And welcome to the 4th Street Sports Show, ladies and gentlemen. It is a special day. In fact, it is 2-2-2-2-0-2-2.
It's a lot of twos.
Yeah. Lots of twos. We're usually throwing fours up, but today we're gonna throw them twos up. You know what I mean?
You know,
Okay.
if we throw up two, we can combine them to get four.
That's true.
Hey,
That's
that's
true.
excellent math.
Quick
Charles.
math. Anyway, I'm Charlie. We got Charles in the studio in Austin. Kobe's going to buy some pizza, but he'll be back
We
real
didn't
quick.
get to do the thing, Charlie. No.
I'm Charlie, not Charles.
And I'm Charles, not Charlie.
There we
It
go.
feels weird doing the other
It
way.
is weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. I'm not going to even finish it off because it's so weird. Let's just hop into the show, guys.
Anyways, yeah, we have a jam-packed Eagle Eye inch coming up. It was just probably the busiest week of Southern Miss sports, and definitely this semester, busiest week that I can remember since last semester. So we're
Yes.
going to hop into it with the biggest news in track and field. Back-to-back, like they're Jordan 96-97. Had to throw in that little lyric from Drake. Ladies and gentlemen, your Southern Miss women's track and field team have repeated as CUSA champions.
Yes.
And it was insane because we had Coach Stu on here
Yes.
just a couple weeks ago talking about,
And he was just talking about just getting ready for the championships and what to look forward to.
and here it is,
Yeah.
champions. We actually have a champion in the booth today. If you follow us, you know who it is, but we'll keep the suspense for our radio listeners.
Dun, 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 dun.
But some highlights from that meet included Olivia Wawrzyniak's first place finish in the 5,000 meters. She broke her PR, or had a PR by 9 seconds, and broke the school record by 9 seconds. Marquasha Myers earned some key points with a bronze in the 60-meter hurdles and a PR for a silver in the triple jump. Trinity Benson got silver, and Kania Seals got bronze right behind her in the 60 meters, and the DMR team broke the school record to earn silver, and Samilia Kobe, a part of that team, also got bronze in the 800-meter. And altogether, they edged Middle Tennessee with 101 to 91 points on 9 trips to the podium for first place. And on the men's side, we'll talk about the men too. They finished 7th, but had 3 athletes earning CUSA titles. Some of those big names that we kept seeing this whole season and last season. Corvell Todd repeated with a high jump title with the 4th best jump in the country this season. Kind of a no-brainer at this point. Fred Mudani continued his stellar season. He pretty much broke his record, the school record, every week. He got first place in the shot put, and DJ Butler finally got that first in the 400-meter that he's been killing all season long and last season. So also shout out to Coach Stu, as we said, and because he got his 2nd consecutive Coach of the Year award, which is a major accomplishment for this team. So congratulations, Southern Miss women's track and field and Coach Stu for their accomplishments. Moving to baseball, because we got some big baseball news. I'll pick it up because the Golden Eagles swept the North Alabama Lions in a 3-game series this past weekend at Pete Taylor Park. Over 4,000 fans each game. Southern Miss defeated North Alabama 8-1 to open their season. Etheridge started for the first game, earned the win, and Dustin Dickerson doubled twice in that game, driving in 3 runs. They continued their success on Saturday with a 7-3 victory and then a dominant 14-1 victory to close out the series. And that last game was kind of the biggest performance from transfer pitcher Hurston Waldrop, who stole the show Sunday, fanning 11 batters through 5 innings on 3 hits and 1 run. An impressive line. We'll probably talk about it later in our debate section, but probably had the most impressive performance from the bullpen of that week. He was throwing 98 miles per hour on the fastball, which Coach Barry said he was the fastest
He's
pitcher.
never seen anything like
Yeah.
it. Just throwing 98, that's crazy.
So that's exciting because obviously there were some questions, not about the talent, but just how you fill in those shoes
Yes.
of Hunter Stanley and Walker Powell. So I would say this week was shows that they still got guys who can fill in.
Definitely. Just going back to what you said about the attendance too. I saw this, and this was per Patrick McGee. His name is WP McGee on Twitter, and I just want to quote him on this and give him props for noting this, but Southern Miss ranked number 11th in the nation in attendance this week with 14,000, specifically 14,006 fans coming out for the week. So that was a huge accomplishment for them. And I think it's the second highest in the opening week for Southern Miss. So a huge attendance level there, and they're playing South Alabama at the moment.
Ooh, yeah.
So hey, we got Southern Miss got to get their revenge back. So we'll see how that goes, but that's definitely something to look into. And going back to the pitching mound too, Tanner Hall is starting tonight, so that's something to look into. Also, he had a big time game in the regional for Ole Miss last year, so that's something to look out for. And I don't know specifically how we're going to do against some of the better competition on the pitching mound, but against North Alabama, we did look pretty good.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say that.
If you're not listening to John Cox, or if you're not at the Pete right now, thank you for tuning in to 4th Street Sports.
Most definitely.
But
You're our loyal fan.
We'll make sure to
Loyal
to
fans.
update you. But turning on to softball, Austin, you want to take softball?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Going into softball, it was another productive week for them. Well, it was a better week than last week. They actually had some pretty close matches. This was the gold. This was the Gold Eagle. Wait, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of different names.
Yeah, it got me confused.
Golden
again.
Eagle Invitational.
Yeah, Golden Eagle Invitational. I
This
know
week-
last week was the Black and Gold Invitational.
And this coming week is the Hub City Invitational. They're getting creative with their names.
Yeah, they definitely are getting creative. In this invitational, they had Houston Baptist, I believe, Mississippi Valley State, and ULM. And they won 4 straight games, I believe, or
four
5?
straight
Oh.
games after dropping the first game against Jacksonville State. So they lost, which they had won their doubleheader against Southern University in the middle of the week, and then lost Jacksonville State, and then just turned it on.
Yeah, they did turn it on. They actually had some close games against Mississippi Valley State. I was a little nervous for a second there. I don't want to lie. Looking at it, the first game they played, that was on a Friday, and that was the opening night of baseball. They had a close one that Friday night against Mississippi Valley. They barely clutched it out. It was 2-1. Big shout out to Jana Lee, the freshman pitcher. She was on the actually at bat, and she hit a double that brought in the pinch runner Scout Jennings. So the freshman connection right there. So that was pretty huge for them. Actually, also on the pitching mound too, Morgan Linestock. She was a driving force behind a lot of team success with 20 strikeouts and 20 innings played, allowing 17 hits, but only 2 runs. And that was a huge credit to the defense.
Yeah.
You know, you got some great outfielders back there, Destiny Brown, and some other great outfielders also. So they did pretty good at the infield. Tata Davis, she's special at that shortstop position. So not the shortstop, the second base position. Her and Maria Smith, who is the shortstop, but they get a little break until the tournament this Friday at 4:30. So it's a lot going on. You had softball last week, baseball, basketball, spring football. So hey, it's a lot.
Yeah, they get that break because their game that was supposed to be today at Ole Miss got postponed
Yes,
due
that
to
is
correct.
weather up in Oxford, I believe.
What was the issue? What
It was
just-
weather.
Just rain.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know the weather in Oxford, but I mean
Yeah.
the wind here was getting crazy, so there might be something going on there. But that's been rescheduled for March 8th. Time hasn't been determined, but obviously big game against Ole Miss coming up.
Yeah, I
for
was
softball.
gonna say. I think
Definitely.
that the instances when we play against other Mississippi schools are highly underrated.
Mhm.
I think they should be made
Yes.
a bigger deal.
And we kind of started off with the positive news. Let's get into some of the bad news, Charles.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So.
Hey, we need to get the effect going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, all
Charles.
right, so men's basketball still a little bit on the struggle after an
A little bit?
unfortunate loss.
Let's not sugarcoat it, Charles.
Okay,
Let's not
hey,
say
a lot of
hey,
it.
Hey, now.
Let's just
I'm
keep it
just-
real. Let's keep it 1K, man.
Okay, our basketball team, bad.
Simple as that.
So they played against Marshall Thundering Herd
Mm-hmm.
last night, and I was in attendance. The final score was 74-60, but do not let that somewhat close score fool you. The first half was a disaster. Score at the half was 45-25.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, Marshall just right out the gates were just on fire offensively, and that we just our guys were unable to stop them, and they were able to improve come second half. Coach said that they didn't have any game plan changes between halves. They stuck with the exact same game plan. They just got outplayed, as he was saying, and despite some valiant efforts from Isaiah Moore and Tyler Stevenson, who both had really good second halves, like I said, they went down 74-60. So, and this is now their longest losing streak since suffering a 9-game losing streak back in 2016, and that was back before any of us were even here.
Yeah,
so.
and I don't know. We're gonna have to dig on that. That's just what I found, but I need to go back further. We need to go back further and see. You know, have they ever had a 10-game losing streak? I'm pretty sure they have, but I don't think it's been for a while.
Yeah, definitely. We'll definitely look into that during the break.
Yeah.
See if we can clarify further on that.
Just on basketball, and we can speak on it later, but, I mean, is it over for Jay Ladner right now?
That might be.
I mean, that's
what we're
been the
talking about
question.
in the debate, yeah.
That's been the question coming up all season. You know, how's he going to bounce back from those, rough 2 seasons? So I just got to ask the question, and I know a lot of fans on Twitter, especially, are upset. And we'll just have to see what's going to happen right there.
Yeah, 8-game losing streak last year, 10-game right now, and it doesn't get any easier. They're playing North Texas.
Yeah,
Yes,
North
Texas,
they'll
and then
be
heading into
playing-
the CUSA tournament coming up in a couple weeks, about a week or 2 from now.
And who is the projected opponent for that at this moment?
Right now, I think it'll be between UTSA.
Okay.
UTSA right now.
But we got some winning basketball going on over on the women's side. Why don't you take that, Austin?
On the women's side, they actually went to they were in Texas, guys. For this week, they were in Texas, going 1-1. Let me not say that. Going 1-1 on the road in Texas. They earned a 66-50 win against UTSA last Thursday with 19 points, coming off of 21 turnovers, guys. Then they had a thriller in El Paso, but fell in overtime, 86-79. I believe Fess Hawkins, she actually ended up tying that game and sending it into overtime for the Lady Eagles, but it was not enough as they would fall just due to some simple miscues. Dawn tried to bring her back. She hit a couple of big shots, but it wasn't enough. And UTSA was able to get to the free throw line and hit some big shots and knock down some huge shots in the paint. Also, now Southern Miss now turns to a home matchup against North Texas this Thursday at 6 p.m. So they're just facing all the Texas teams right now in CUSA. This will be at 6 p.m. It's a huge matchup as North Texas sits right behind the Lady Eagles for the top spot in the West Division. Guys, as you know, North Texas, they kind of moved up the scale. If you don't remember, North Texas was about sitting around 4 or 5 earlier on this month, but
and
now
UAB is 4 now.
Yeah, UAB has bumped down. They actually gave they did give Southern Miss a run for their money, beating them in the first matchup at home, but also the Lady Eagles will be facing them, I believe, March 2nd or something.
It's coming up.
Yeah,
next week.
it's happening in March. That'll be in Birmingham. With a loss, Southern Miss will drop to second, and with a win, they will push a game further ahead for the division title. With only 3 games remaining after that, it will be tough though. After North Texas, they face a 10-11 Rice team, UAB again. Then the top dogs of the East in Charlotte, who's 12-2. So that'll be something huge to see. The Lady Eagles have a huge road ahead of them, but if they can keep it up and Dawn plays solid and Malia and all the other great role players step up like Rose and Bracayla, we'll have to see. So it'll be interesting.
So on golf side, we haven't gotten an update from women's golf, but yesterday at the Chufunta Invitational, they sat at 3rd, so we will give an update as soon as we got that. And then for tennis, Kobe, you want to take that?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for my tardiness. Yes, men's tennis had a rough weekend as they fell 4-3 to Lamar Friday and then 4-1 to UAB on Sunday. But over on the women's side, they swept UTSA Saturday and then picked up a 4-1 win against Northwestern State in Natchitoches, Louisiana. Excuse me. They are now 6-0.
So, I mean, this has been all year long, but it looks like we're seeing a theme with women's sports versus men's sports, aren't we?
We were talking about this off air, Charlie. Just how women's sports is really killing it for Southern Miss right now on the campus.
Yes. So, thanks for listening to the Eagle Eye. We will be back with our special interview. You won't want to miss it. It's a CUSA track champion or two-time champion.
Wait, get it correct now. Back to back.
So we're going to listen to some
96, 97.
California Love, a staple of the 4th Street Sports Show. This is 4th Street Sports on 88.5 WSM. Baby.
Yeah.
And welcome back to the 4th Street Sports Show with Kobe, Charles, Charlie, and Smooth Oss. And today we have a special guest in the building today on 4th Street. She is a part of the back-to-back indoor CUSA championship team of track and field here at Southern Miss. Ladies and gentlemen, on 4th Street, we have Marquasha Myers. How you doing, Marquasha?
Pretty good. Very blessed to be here.
Thanks for coming on. And we just got to know from you, how are you feeling after winning?
Oh my gosh. It's like we didn't expect to win, but I kind of knew that we can, actually do it. I'm actually like very, very happy that we won. Since we're leaving Conference USA, we have to have like one more big win. We had to leave with a win.
You had to put your stamp on it.
Yes.
That was kind of a statement for y'all.
Yes, like you shouldn't be kicking us out, but it's okay.
And you just kind of mentioned that. I thought it was interesting reading Coach Stu's quote. He said, on paper, we faced impossible odds. As reigning champions from last year, just at the beginning of the season, how much of a possibility did you see as repeating was?
Well, with the team that we have now, I was like, yeah, we can win this. Because, like, everyone was so positive. Everyone was actually working their butts off. Everyone was doing everything they needed to do. Like, we may have, like, fell short sometimes, but we came up when we needed to. And I was very, very excited. So I just felt it in the bones, like, we were going to win.
Did it feel like it was a lot of pressure on y'all to go into that, not only as the reigning champs, but to, like, try and go and, like, repeat again? Did you feel like it was a lot of pressure or anything like that?
Well, for me, no. I just felt like I just took it as another meet and just came at like very calm, very collected, and I just did what I had to do. And I seen that everyone else did it too. So I think they did the same thing. I don't think they were pressured to do their best. I think they just went out and did their best.
And for us, this season seemed like to fly by.
Yes.
It was just kind of a different schedule. Could you just talk about the schedule this season and how it just all led so quickly to this event?
Well, really, we had back-to-back meets, and it wasn't too bad. Like, we had 2 meets in Vanderbilt, had 2 meets in Birmingham, and had conference. We really didn't need that many meets. So we just kept getting competition ready and just went to conference.
And how did you come into this season, off of such a high from last season, just kind of trying to prepare and trying to improve from what you did last season?
Well, with this year, I was only able to compete in 3 meets. I was actually very nervous to go into conference because I have tendonitis in my knee. So I didn't even practice certain things for like almost a month. So I came into the meet actually kind of very scared and very precautious.
And when did that tendonitis start?
I would say after our second meet, it was just like really bad. And I was like, you know what, it's okay. This is just my way of just taking a break and getting things back together technically and then go back into it.
So when you said like just taking a break and stuff like that, we just kind of just patching like the technical side and just the fundamentals more than anything, or would you say that?
With hurdles, I would keep it the same because it wasn't hurting that bad. But with jumping, I didn't do any jumping. I just did rehab and then did hurdles, and that was that.
So it was just raw talent out there.
Yeah.
How are you feeling now with that whole situation?
I'm actually shocked because my knee wasn't hurting the whole time. I was just like, you know what? If it hurts, I gotta suck it up and just go jump. Like,
He was just like,
doesn't
give
matter.
it a shot.
Yep. Literally, that was it.
And with those injuries throughout the season, do you think that having this big victory, do you think it meant more knowing that you had those struggles?
Yes, very much so. Yes, it was. I'll say it was a blessing in disguise that I didn't have to keep her like pushing myself the way I needed to, and I'm glad that it didn't like make things worse. It actually make things better for literally everybody, but myself. So.
And so you are a COVID junior, so you've had experience in the indoor championships before. How has your experience, in those prior events kind of helped you for this one?
I would say I was more mentally prepared than anything, but with the competition, everything, I already knew what I was setting myself up for. Because most of the girls that I competed with last year were still there, so I was like, I know what they're capable of. Like, let me just do a little bit better than them. I had to just push myself a little bit harder.
And just with that whole situation, were you still kind of facing some nerves, and how did you kind of calm that down, if you were?
I'm not even gonna lie, I was so nervous. So, with the jumps, I actually only had 2 legal jumps. Everything else was fouls. So I was just trying to just calm myself down and not overthink it. I always try to like walk around or like sing a song or something and just calm myself down and just go on the runway and do what I have to do. And with my teammate there too, shout out to Ashley, she helps me calm down too. We just talk about other things but the meet, and she really helped.
And so you set a PR in those 2 events, PRs in the championships, and
Yes.
with everything you're just saying, how did you feel when you saw that time?
When I seen the time, I was like, whoa, I think I PR'd by 0.14 seconds. So I was like, no way I just ran that. Like, I had to really sit there and stare, and then I ran to Stu and gave him a hug. I was like, wow, we actually like PR. We actually got a medal. I've been wanting to get one since I got to Southern Miss, and I finally got one. And then with triple, I was so scared. When I was trying not to foul the whole time. And so when I did the last and final jump, I just walked away and then turned around. And I was like, oh, my God, I PR'd. Like, that's a major PR. I think indoor I only jumped 12.2 meters. I jumped 12.9.
Wow.
What feeling goes through your mind when you realize that you set a PR? Do you kind of like brush it to the side, or is there some excitement in the moment, or like what goes through your mind in that moment?
You ever seen LeBron, like, do his little step thing?
Yeah.
I think I pretty much did that. Like, I was so excited. Like I didn't think I was so close to jumping 13 meters. And that was the final jump. So I was like, wow, like, I don't have to do anything anymore. I'm good. I can just go walk off now. I can go get my medal. Like, I'm good to go. I didn't have to be nervous about anything. I was just ready to go get my medal.
So were you nervous, though, about it kind of came down to the wire just like last year? Were you watching that final event that kind of decided it was the 4x400 relay?
Yes. But I felt like if we just stayed in the top 5, we would have won. As long as Middle Tennessee didn't win, yeah, we were fine. But if they did win, we would have got a tie. But, yeah, I was like, when we seen them run, I was like, yeah, we won. Like, there's no way. I don't know what happened with them, to be honest.
Speaking of like celebrations, like you said like LeBron do his little signature, pump up. What's your signature? Is it the walk off? Cause
I walked off, turned around, and I just screamed. I was like, there is no way. I'm not gonna do it in here though, but I just screamed. And I went straight to my teammate and gave her a big old hug. Like, she was actually the motivator, honestly, because she jumped farther than me. I was like, oh no, I'm sorry. No, I told her, I was like, Ashley, no, not happening. And my final jump did it.
So has Ashley been kind of a motivator for you this whole season, or just for in college in general?
Yes and no, because she's mostly a long jumper. So, like, I'll just help her with that. Like, I'll just go long jump from time to time. That's not really my thing. But with triple, when she jumped, I think 12.7, I was in third with 12.6, and she knocked me down. So I was like, oh my gosh, you jumped farther than me. Like, okay, I like this. I like this competition. And she just motivated me to just jump a little bit farther.
Does that help y'all?
Yeah.
Does that competitive nature help y'all, like, make each other better?
Yes, very
whenever
much
y'all
so.
see each
Yes.
other? Yeah.
Like, we do it at practice. We do it at meets. We just talk trash. Like, you know how boys do that. So girls do it too.
Yeah.
Girls do it too. It's actually very funny.
We've talked to Coach Gibson and Stu just about seeing all the runners, practicing together. What can you talk about? Is there that sort of, camaraderie that kind of helps you get along with each other, but also, get better on the track?
Well, I don't really practice with them, but I do watch them practice. But I see that when they do practice together, they push each other like as hard as they can. They don't actually like push each other to where they hurt themselves and anything like that. But most of the time, they are, chatting it up with each other, saying like, "Oh, we got to run this, we got to run that," to get better. Like they will always give each other like critiques and everything like that, and they even help with technical work too.
So what do you think that made y'all's team so special for these last 2 years? If you could kind of just break it down to a couple of traits.
I would say our relationship together, our competitive spirit, of course, and really just our relationship with the coaches as well. If we didn't have a relationship with them, it wouldn't have been that great. Like all of us together, we goof around. Like everyone's a social butterfly. We talk the throws, we talk the distance, we literally talk to everybody. So we keep a close relationship with each other, and I think that helped with winning conference.
And what could you attribute to Coach Stu and just what his staff has been able to do? Obviously, big accomplishment for him being two-time back-to-back Coach of the Year as well.
Yeah.
I love Sue, love Barnes, love D, love Gibson, even though I just met him. They are such a lovely staff. They are literally awesome. Like they're very honest. They're very real with you. If you can't do something, they're gonna tell you. If you can do something, they're gonna try to get you to that point. Like they're very inspirational, and I'm very grateful to have all of them as a coach. Like I've worked with, well, I didn't work with Gibson yet, but I've worked with D, worked with Stu and Barnes. Like they are very inspirational.
Who would you say is the hardest on you?
Barnes, Coach Jamal Barnes. I hope you hear this. Yeah, because he's my actual coach for jumps and hurdles.
Yeah.
Like he's always on me about anything. Like it's okay. I don't mind it.
How much does that, just being on you, just fuel you to be better at the end of the day?
Since he's so realistic, I try to reach up to his standards just a little bit. Like I know I'm not the fastest, but I will be fast enough to do what I need to do, and I'm trying to get faster to where I can, go to nationals.
Yeah.
I'm trying, not indoor nationals though. Those girls are fast, but but outdoor nationals, I really believe that I can make nationals. Like it's gonna be a stretch, but it's possible. And with his guidance, of course, make it work.
And how do you transition from this victory, going into outdoor season, trying to, you want to celebrate, but then you kind of got to turn around for the outdoor season?
Really, we all have to just keep the same mindset. We have to be hungry. We have to be, have to humble ourselves because outdoor is no joke. Like everything's completely different. We have to worry about the weather. Like with hurdles, we have to go from 5 to 10. It's just completely different. So with all those intact, we have to just keep ourselves together, and maybe we can actually win outdoor conference. We've been having a hard time, but it's possible. I think we can win it.
And just reflecting on your time here at Southern Miss, if you could look back at freshman you to now, what ways have you changed maybe your regiment or just personally that's helped you grow to now?
I would say my mindset has changed a lot more. I was goofing off freshman year. I'm not even going to lie. I think everyone has. But I'd say I'm more serious now about, taking care of my body, making sure I'm recovering process, is everything it needs to be, and, not goofing off. Like, I'm more serious at practice now. I'm more focused. Like, I used to goof off a lot. Our team was funny. So we always just, I would just always goof off. But now it's like, I need to do this so I can get out of here and do what I have to do.
And you kind of just, going back to your older self, you see the benefits and how it kind of pays off.
Yes, yes.
Could you also cover coming up to the outdoor season? The beginning of the season is a tough one, the Texas relays. Could you talk about that? That's one of the most prestigious relays there is, kind of.
So really, I'm just gonna have to take that one as a regular meet. I know it's gonna be an opener for a lot of us, but it's okay. We're going to just take it as a regular meet, and since we have more competition there, we might have the SEC schools, ACC, That doesn't matter. We all do the same thing. So we just have to just go out there, compete, and just do what we have to do. That's all we can do.
Is that always the mindset going into a big meet like that?
Yes, because the big names, they're typically faster, but they might mess up one day. They might, have an off day, and then I might just be the day I just do better than them. Like, it's just a name. You're a person, I'm a person. We just go different schools.
That's true.
And talking about now, because we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, but just what's the celebration been like for y'all? How is it celebrating this victory?
I can't say.
No
I like that. Keep it
I plead the fifth.
confidential.
I plead the fifth. I can't say.
Well, I hope y'all had a great time.
Yeah.
And thank you for joining, Marquasha. We hope you have a good recovery and good preparation for next season. And
Thank you.
keep enjoying this victory for now.
Thank you so much.
And good luck on the season for outdoor.
Definitely
Thank
good luck
you.
on the season.
You will see more medals.
Ooh, we got a
I like
promise.
that.
Let's go.
Also, I'd like to make a statement. Marquasha made second team all conference. Also,
What?
forgot
Flowers
to
early.
say that.
Flowers early.
We'll have
Yeah,
to-
flowers
Early
early.
flowers.
So,
Thank you.
yeah. But thank you once again,
No
ladies and
problem.
ladies and gentlemen. That was Marquasha Myers. When we come back from the break, we will get into a quick debate, and then of course we will be getting into our flower section. So this is the 4th Street Sports Show. Stick around. So, once again, thanks to Marquasha Myers for stopping in to 4th Street with us today. Now we move on to our debate section. Currently right now, South Alabama is leading Southern Miss 2-0 in the top of the 3rd inning with 2 outs, and they have runners in scoring position, one on second and third. But yeah, I wanted to be here. I'm sorry again. Sorry I'm late. Time conflicting schedules with me and everything. But I kind of wanted to talk about baseball real quick though too. Did you actually, Charlie? Did you have a question for the debate section? With
We were just
baseball?
gonna talk about their performance this weekend. I know you're at the last game, or you were at the first 2 games.
Yeah, I was at the first
two games, so you saw majority of it. But
Yes, sir.
also, we can just start on South Alabama. Charles and I have a thing with South Alabama. It's one of the actually
that just explains it all right there.
Out of the
Charles,
Sunbelt teams, this was before all the Sunbelt stuff happened. We were researching. Southern Miss has the worst. Out of the Sunbelt teams, their worst performances against South Alabama teams. I think it's like under a 40 win percentage. And for baseball, they are currently on a 5-game losing streak against South Alabama. And it kind of, top of the 3rd, so we got just 2-0 is nothing, but.
Yeah.
It would be
Actually,
crazy.
South Al just scored again.
Wow.
On a error, looks like by the shortstop.
Oh.
So now I think it's 3-0.
Is that 3 in the 1 inning?
I believe. So.
Yes, they've
believe so.
scored all in the 3rd inning.
Oh snap!
So
Once you get hot in baseball, it's difficult to cool
Yeah,
a team
it's
with
down.
the 2 outs though.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah, 2 outs,
But
it's
then
3-0.
again, momentum always
Dustin-
switches. Sorry, my
Dustin
bad.
Dickerson threw a skipper almost type ball, and it skipped and hit the hands of Sargent. And he was not able to field it, so now it's 3-0 South Al.
That's one thing I actually wanted to kind of talk about with the baseball team too. I was at the first 2 games. I wasn't at the 3rd when Dima had that one covered. And it's despite them having a great weekend, that 2nd game surprised me because they had 4 errors in 1 inning that caused 2 runs. And I was like,
And they were lucky to have just 4 errors and only get 2 runs out of that. That's crazy.
yeah, because I looked at it too, and it was like errors that could have easily been avoided, and it could have been an even big. It could have looked more like Sunday when the 14 won than what it actually was. 'Cause I think it was it was like 8-2, I believe.
No, 7-3. 7-3.
Excuse me, my bad.
Yeah, 7-3.
But
7-3 is Kristaps Porzingis' height.
Okay.
yeah, but
He hadn't been playing like it lately.
Yeah, but that was one of the triggering things about not triggering, but one of the biggest problems that I did see from them were those errors. Also, later in the lineup was hitting too. Slade Wilkes, he had a big game Sunday, but he did struggle in them first 2 games. But I'm glad to see that he did have a big game on Sunday. Also, pitching was really good. Pitching was really good too.
Hurston Waldrop.
Hurst,
Yeah.
oh bro, Hurst.
He's
If anything, if I would have voted this week, he would have been my 4th Street Player of the Week. Because I think to have the performance that he had Sunday in 5 innings, 11 strikeouts in 5 innings is not an easy feat to do. And the fact that he was able to do that and have a really great performance, and then the offense backing him up and making things really easy for him really was great. Also, Ben Etheridge, he had a good game as well. 6 strikeouts. He had 79 pitches, so coach did pull him early, but I think that he had a good one too as well. And then of course Riggins was good as well. And
a lot of the guys didn't pitch more than 7 innings, I believe.
Yeah.
Just keeping them fresh.
Just
for
keeping
this
them
game,
fresh, yeah.
probably.
yeah, because because around the 6th, 7th inning we started seeing relief pitches.
Yeah, I think Hurston got out in the 5 and 1 innings.
Yeah.
Ben was 6 innings.
Yeah.
And I forgot what Riggins was off the top of my head, but
Riggins, I think he had to either be 5th or 6th, because I think that was because Riggins pitched day 2, and that was and of course he got out the inning where they had caused the errors. But yeah, I like the pitching from them. Of course, the lineup is gonna be Dickerson and Gabe. They doing their thing. Of course, Carson Paytow, he was a standout to me, and there was at some point where he might have snuck into the lineup until Slade Wilkes had that game on Sunday. But I'm like, that was really my impression of them. I know this is supposed to be a debate section, but that was really my impression of them going into it right now. I know they're kind of struggling against South Alabama. That's kind of been the team that's been their kryptonite, and they'll get over, and that they haven't been able to get over. But again, it's still early. It's the bottom of the 3rd. No outs, and it's 3-0. But that was my assessment.
Tanner Hall, he got out of the top of the 3rd on a strikeout. After giving up Dell. I don't know. Did they give up 3 runs in that 1 inning right now?
Yeah, in that 1 inning, currently I don't know if they gave up 3 errors in that 1 inning, but they do have 3 errors currently in that game. But
yeah, they did. They gave up 3 runs. Those 3 runs in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, top of the 3rd.
So Hall got out of that inning on a strikeout right there.
The one thing I do have to say, another thing I got to say about the pitching, every time that the pitchers got in a jam, like where bases were loaded and runners were on base, they were able to pitch out of it. Whether it was Riggins or whether it was Drew Boyd and Tanner Hall closing that second game out. But I think that right now I'm liking what I'm seeing from the bullpen. Pitching has been good, even though Tanner Hall kind of struggling right now. I liked what I seen from pitching, and personally, I just think hits got to keep going though, because they went like 4 innings in game 1 and game 2 where they had no runs.
But I mean, kind of the start of the last season also, you kind of saw the slow start. So I don't know if it's just them getting acquainted to the season, but they did have a slow start.
Right.
And that was one of the biggest questions coming in: were the batters going to get out to a hot start? And we'll just have to see. I do think somebody that played well to me was Sargent.
Yeah, Sarge had a really great
He
game,
had a
bro.
a good weekend to me.
Yeah.
I like the way that he was batting.
And just the way he plays on base, too. He was a big player for them last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did want to clarify. I accidentally said Waldrop was a transfer. I was thinking of Riggins.
Yeah, Riggins
Just
from Delta
saying that,
State.
yeah.
Oh, quick thing, and I've always thought this was an interesting question that they asked. Riggins pitched against North Alabama twice because he came from a Division II school, and this weekend he pitched against them again, and he found that experience actually funny and everything too. But that was an interesting fact. But I actually like where this baseball team is going. Of course, again, they're losing right now 3-0, but I think that this team is actually going to really be good this year. From my assessment, this is only 3 games.
Yeah, this is only 3 games, and they did play North
North
Alabama
Alabama,
against a team that only won 7 games last year. So
true.
I don't want to get too hype on the train.
Yeah, this was their first ever meeting, I believe it was too, in baseball. So yeah.
So stay tuned with the Student Prince for coverage. We'll have that tonight.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
Dima there, right? We
Dima,
got Dima's
and we'll
there.
have a package out tonight too. So
Yes, we got
check it out.
Ansley and Z.
Yeah,
right?
Z, yeah.
Yeah, so keep tuned for Student Prince, and let's go ahead and move to our flowers, right?
Yeah.
Are we forgetting something else? Can we just discuss it for 1 second?
Okay.
Yeah,
for
I
one
just
second.
I just want to know because
Rewind the tape. Rewind the tape.
I just want to know, is Jay Ladner out right now, guys?
I mean,
after 10 straight games.
I might. We can talk about it, but if we just go back to our episode where we talked about it with Trevor, we said there's got to be improvement.
Yeah.
And is this an improvement? Obviously, no. So I think
And
that's the answer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
And I said that if anything, if he wanted to like at least cool that seat off, he had to have a good record in the CUSA. And it's not been going good so far. They on a 10-game losing streak right now.
Yeah, that's
So
that's not good. That's
he not hot on
a low bar.
That's he not even hot anymore. I think it's burnt at this point.
And I respect Coach Ladner. I respect the staff. That there's been some, I think, just issues with the team too. Just things going on, injuries. We had the flu, the COVID, and just obviously suspension.
I mean, it's only so many excuses that you can make,
it's
though.
excuses. It
Because-
just doesn't look like this is working out. That's what I'm getting to.
Yeah.
Like, could he produce a winning team? Maybe. But it's been 3 years. It's not happened yet. So
How many years are left on his contract? Do we know?
I don't know about
I
his
don't know about his
contract, but
contract.
Because I can see them like maybe playing out the rest of his contract and letting him go. At the
Well,
very,
maybe.
at the very,
We
you
will
know,
see. We will
oh,
see.
Yeah, time will tell.
Time will
Yeah,
tell.
that's very
That's
true.
something that we had to look into.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I forgot that. I think I saw something about like 25,000 for a buyout. I don't know how specific that is, but I saw something about that. But I don't know.
yeah.
Probably be more.
Yeah.
All right, so now we can move on to our
Yes,
flowers.
sir.
Hit it, Logan.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the show.
We could say
We're now giving flowers.
Thank you, Logan. This is our flower section where we give our flowers, we give our praise to all the Southern Miss athletes, whether current or former, who have received honors during the week, like Player of the Week or anything. But first, of course, we got to give our flowers to the Southern Miss women's track and field team again for capturing their second CUSA championship in program history and doing it back to back.
Here's looking for a third one next season. 3-peat. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't want that 3P.
Wait, that sounds like discouraging. Don't say
No,
that, bro.
I meant.
Hey,
I meant to
man.
wait. No, I meant to say.
Oh, for the team, the other
Yeah,
team.
I'm like, they don't. I'm like, I said
maybe,
they don't
hey,
want to see that. Yeah,
that's my bad, man. Bad comprehension.
Hey,
man.
man, I've been listening. I ain't gonna lie.
Man, come
I
on
ain't
now.
gonna lie. I've been listening to too much Drake though from that time. But anyway, that's not the point. Flowers to the Southern Miss baseball fans for landing at number 11 in the country for the most attendance over the weekend with 14,006 total fans. Shout out to the Buzzardry podcast for that info. That's a
Bet.
That's a very interesting podcast.
Let's break the record
podcast
next
name.
week. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, when Ole Miss, Alabama come, that record is getting broken. Just letting you know. Anyway, flowers to our co-4th Street players of the week in Corville Todd and Hurston Waldrep.
Shout out to them.
194 votes. Thanks to everybody that voted.
I
That's
thought it was-
interesting.
Wasn't it a 3-way tie?
No, it was two.
It was a two.
30. It was tied at 33 and 33. Me and Charlie looked at it and we were in shock.
Oh, I was
What
confused.
are the odds with that? I mean, just one more vote would have set
Yeah.
that apart.
Yeah, it would have set it apart.
Should we have like a battle?
Nah.
I bet
Nah,
we'll
let's
just get-
get-
Rock, paper,
let's get-
scissors, shoot.
Yeah,
let's
a
get-
race?
let's get it
No,
rolling.
would it be a race? How?
Nah, that wouldn't be
yeah,
fair.
that wouldn't be fair.
Nah.
What?
Oh, I also have to say congratulations to Patrick Surtain Sr., who just landed a job with the Miami Dolphins. He is let me
I
pull
think
it up.
an assistant, right? Defensive
Yes, he is.
assistant?
Yeah, he's joining their coaching staff with Sam Madison. He is a defensive assistant where he played for the first 7 years of his career, made his 3 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pro teams. And this comes after days of Miami adding Sam Madison to their staff, who was his teammate at that time. So shout out to Patrick Surtain Sr. for landing that gig in Miami.
Big bets. Congratulations,
Yeah,
coach.
Let's hope he doesn't get paid to lose games.
I'm gonna just let that. We just gonna let that one slide.
That's
past.
nothing against Sertan. That's against.
Oh
the
no.
Dolphins.
We know that's not against certain. We know that's against the Dolphins. But yeah, so I think that
That's a low blow.
I think that's all the flower unless I'm missing something.
Nah, I think that's
think
good.
that's it.
We had a lot Flowers.
Oh, wait a
obviously.
Austin mentioned it earlier. Our guest Marquasha.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You want to repeat it for the
Oh,
listeners?
my
who didn't
bad.
hear?
For the I thought you was gonna say it. Oh, shout out to
do it for the
Marquasha
pod.
Myers, who's still here in the studio, who actually received honors today for second team All Conference in Conference USA. So big shout out to her, as she can hear this right now. So keep going, ladies. Keep going. Men too. Corvell and DJ been crushing it for the men's side. So. Southern Miss Track is doing special things, and shout out to Coach Stu and Coach Gibson, who we previously had on the show too.
Yeah,
And then
shout out Coach
Flowers
And all
to
the coaches.
Morgan Livestock on softball. Obviously, we
Yeah.
talked the defense had a good role in that, but it was very defensive games, close games, and that pitching, 20 innings played. She's their go-to
Yes.
girl. So
Yes.
Yeah.
flowers to her. She was in the Player of the Week award right behind our co-players of the week.
It was a tight one this week.
Yeah.
And I know this one is super innocuous, but I do want to give flowers to the track team for having both of their guests on this show stay for the entirety of
It
their
is
shows.
crazy how some things work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There have been no other guests that have stayed for the entire show except for two, and both of them were from the track team.
Was it Lena that stayed?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Lena actually had a 6th or 7th place finish in
Yeah.
in championship event. So
Yeah, that was
congrats
seventh
to her
place
too.
finish, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's all the flowers we have for this week, though. Unless I'm missing something, let me know.
No, flowers to us. I mean, we could
I'll
go
take
ahead.
one.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah. Nah. So, but anyway, thank you guys for joining us today on the 4th Street Sports Show. This was a jam-packed show today, even though I kind of was late. Once again, my apologies for that. But thank you for joining us today. Once again, follow us on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Of course, WUSM 88.5, where you can listen to Facebook Live. Hopefully we don't get blocked next week because of music, because that seems to be a trend every
that's
week.
my bad, y'all. I'll take that L.
That seems to be a trend every week. But yeah, definitely check out Facebook Live. Check out Instagram Live sometimes too, because we may go live whenever Facebook is down or whenever.
We
So
might have to switch to IG.
yeah, we might have to.
Or
but
Twitch.
Twitch. Okay, I never really thought about that. Twitch, but okay.
Our moms don't know about that.
Yeah.
So Twitch is this website.
Twitch. Also,
What's a Twitch?
also for the peak. Also, if you're just tuning in now and you missed the show today, of course the podcast will be put on all podcasting streaming platforms and everything, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all podcast streaming platforms.
What about Anchor?
Yes.
Anchor? Yeah, Anchor as well. Anchor, they will be on Anchor as well. If
Nice.
you listen to it. So, so yeah. So thank y'all for joining us.
Oh wait! I wanted to announce. I accidentally lied to y'all last week. We had to postpone my first episode of my sports podcast last week due to some conflict with some of our guests. But we will be having, for real this time, the first episode of the Hub City Sports Feature podcast right here on WUSM. Once again, we're going to be having PCS's soccer coaches on as guests, highlight their program. So big shout out to those guys, big shout out to the players and coaches, and for PCS for letting me work with them. But seriously, check us out Sunday at 5 p.m. And then the week after that, we're going to have USM's Fight Club on. So very
Sounds
excited.
interesting.
Yeah. So check it out.
Any other announcements before we call out the show?
Nah, we're good. That was a sponsored ad.
All right. Well, again, thank you all for joining us again today. I have been Kobe,
Charles, not Charlie.
Charlie, not Charles.
And Smooth Oz.
and this has been we are the 4th Street Sportsmen, and this has been the 4th Street Sports Show. And thank y'all for listening. Peace and love. Y'all have a good night.
4th Street Sports.
That's the way.
3, 2, 1.
Thanks for listening to the 4th Street Sports Show. Tune in next week, Tuesday, 5 p.m.